how it all started.
In the busy city of Lagos, there lived a slim Nigerian man who was known for his pride and arrogance. His body was thin, his shoulders narrow, but his tongue was sharp and his temper quick. In his neighborhood, he walked around with a false sense of power. He loved to intimidate women, mocking their appearances, laughing at their weaknesses, and finding joy in making them feel small. He carried himself as though the streets of Lagos belonged to him, and no woman dared to confront him openly because of the way he twisted his words and caused shame in public. Over time, people began to notice his behavior. He was the man who pushed women aside in crowded markets, the one who raised his voice at them inside buses, and the one who insulted female traders when bargaining. Many disliked him, but they avoided him, for his cunning nature made it hard to challenge him directly. He met a woman who was unlike the others he had bullied. She was strong in both body and spirit, a female bodybuilder who trained daily at a small gym not far from the main street. Her muscles were firm, her arms broad, and her legs carried the strength of years of discipline. She had lived her life facing ridicule from many, but instead of bending under the pressure, she had built herself into a figure of power. The slim man, blinded by her beauty and drawn to her confidence, decided to marry her. He thought he would tame her spirit, just as he had tried with other women. In his mind, no woman could resist his control for long. The wedding was simple, attended by neighbors who watched with curiosity, whispering among themselves about what would become of the union. After the marriage, the balance of power began to shift. The woman, who had watched his behavior even before they married, decided that she would not live like the others he had tormented. Inside their home in Lagos, the walls began to echo with his silence, for the slim man who had once been loud now found himself overshadowed. His wife controlled the space with her presence. When they walked together through the streets, it was no longer him leading with arrogance, but her towering frame drawing attention. People who once feared his insults now laughed quietly, watching how the bully had become the bullied. His thin body, once used as a shield to intimidate weaker women, now seemed fragile next to her strength. When neighbors spoke about them, they said the slim man had finally met his match. Yet the story did not end there. The woman was not cruel without reason. She did not bully him in the way he had hurt others out of pure malice, but to teach him the weight of his actions. Each day, she made him taste the bitterness of what he had served to so many before. And though he hated it, deep inside he began to realize the truth of his ways. Still, pride held him back from change. Instead of admitting defeat, he struggled quietly, hoping for a chance to reclaim his old power. But the streets of Lagos had already shifted their judgment. The man who once walked with arrogance now walked in the shadow of his wife's strength, and the people watched closely, waiting to see how far this new story would unfold. Would the slim man learn humility? In the heat and restless noise of Lagos, the slim man's life grew heavier each day. He had once been the shadow that darkened the confidence of women around him, but now he lived under the shadow of his wife. The house that once echoed with his commands was now filled with her presence. He felt powerless, yet he dared not protest loudly, for her firm hands and towering figure silenced him without words. In the streets, the change was visible. The man who once insulted women at the market now carried baskets quietly, following his wife as she bargained with traders. The very women he used to mock now looked at him with hidden smiles, some even whispering among themselves as they watched. He tried to walk with pride, but the laughter and stares of the people reminded him of what he had become. The neighbors began to call him different names, names that cut deeper than his old insult. They said he was no longer the terror of women but the servant of his wife. Children in the neighborhood teased him as he passed, imitating the way he trailed behind her like a shadow. At first, he tried to strike fear into them with his sharp words, but they only laughed louder, for they had seen him silenced too many times. His wife, the bodybuilder, seemed to grow stronger each day. Her revenge was not only in words or actions, but in the way she carried herself. She stood tall and fearless, while he became smaller in spirit. At night, when the city outside buzzed with horns and voices, he sat quietly, replaying his past in his mind. He remembered the women he had bullied, the ones who had walked away with tears in their eyes, and now he felt those same wounds within himself. But pride still lived in his heart. He could not accept defeat fully. He began to plan small ways to reclaim some part of his old power. Sometimes, he tried to act as though he still ruled in the home, speaking harshly or refusing to follow her orders. Yet each attempt was crushed quickly, as she returned his defiance with even greater force. His rebellion was like a match struck in the rain, brief, weak, and quickly drowned. Outside their home, Lagos watched. People gossiped in crowded buses, whispering that the bully had finally met his punishment. Some laughed at his fate, while others felt it was justice for all the women he had tormented. Yet a few wondered if the story would take a darker turn, for they knew that a man whose pride is broken does not always learn but sometimes grows more dangerous in silence. And so, the days rolled on. The slim man's spirit struggled between anger and shame, while his wife's presence grew larger in his life. Lagos itself seemed to echo their story, carrying it through its noisy streets, its bustling markets, and its restless nights.
Thanks for watching. See you in next video. Subscribe. I pray for you. We all pray to God for safety and security. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye. Thank you for watching this video. I pray I cover you with the blood of Jesus. Nothing bad will happen to you during this season and after this season. Bye. Tinusa. Wait. Is she aware of the cat on the door? Okay. Jesus. No, that could be a very interesting movie. If any of you have the link, kindly comment the link in the comment section. I would love to react to the full video. The rice is more to Shaggy. Shaggy is greedy. Shaggy. Without the permission of the owner. Not even one. Two. And bread too. Jesus, every man. Shaggy, you are in trouble. Shaggy, you like palaver. So he is the son of the seller. Shaggy is dead. Shaggy is dead. I know Shaggy is dead right now. Jesus.